Hi, I'm Harry Cole, the Sun's political editor. In my column this week, I'm looking ahead to the budget. Next Wednesday, Jeremy Hunt will stand up, possibly for the last, maybe penultimate time before Britain goes to the polls. He was hoping to be able to have lots of pre-election giveaways, lots of eye-catching things to help shore up that Tory vote that's looking pretty dire if you look at the polls right now. But gone are any cuts to inheritance tax, plans to reform stamp duty, 99% mortgages. In fact, the economic outlook means that there's very little room for Jeremy Hunt to play with. He reckons he's got about £13 billion of headroom. That's the amount of money between what the government have in their coffers and their strict financial rules, which means they will need to be getting debt down within the next 5 years, or not going up as quickly, depending on which way you look at the spin. Now, it seems like it's a pretty grim mood in the Treasury tonight. The OBR, the Office of Budget Responsibility, have run the rule over his spending plans and said at the moment, it looks as if they will miss those government fiscal rules. So it's back to the drawing board. He's looking for dreaded spending cuts, which could blow up an election campaign if the opposition were able to seize on things that they say the government would be cutting. And Tory MPs desperate for cuts to income tax, national insurance, a freeze on fuel duty might be disappointed on a few of them. This is going to go to the wire, this budget, with a sort of endless back and forward with the OBR about those spending plans. And in the column, I've had a look at, is this really the most efficient way that the fifth largest economy in the world actually runs its budgets? Because we have essentially what is an unelected body, a body of bureaucrats, faceless, most people have never heard of them, actually being able to dictate to elected politicians who are accountable to not only the cabinet, to the parliament, but at the end of the day, accountable to voters for the decisions they make. And so we're looking at who really runs Britain, who governs Britain. Is it the OBR or is it the Chancellor? Elsewhere, I'm just back from the United States, where I had a long sit down and chat with Nigel Farage, not just about the current situation in America with Donald Trump, but more about his future. What's he going to do? There's lots of speculation that he is going to sit this election out and wait for the Tories to lose to Labour and then try to unite the right, either from the Reform Party or even a hostile takeover of the Conservative Party after the next election. And then tonight, just as I was writing, we have the Tories gathering for their annual winter fundraiser. They've already raised £17 million this year for their election war chest, and they'll be hoping to add to that tonight with a significant amount of cash. And amusingly, they've decided to pimp out most of the cabinet. So rich Tory donors will be able to buy bizarre things like an afternoon of science with the Science Secretary, Michelle Donnellan, as well as a game of bridge with Michael Gove, or don't all rush at once, a Japanese meal with Jeremy Hunt. So have a read, lots in there, and see you next week.